Wow, thank you so much, Nikhil. That was absolutely mind-blowing. So we know we need community, and we know that the design of our environment either helps or hinders the ways we can connect with our kids and other people. And the other thing we need is physical activity. And that is what we are going to hear about from Professor Scarlett McNally, who is a consultant orthopedic surgeon, Deputy Director of the Center for Operative Care, the President of the Medical Women's Federation, and she's also a contributor to the British Medical Journal. Scarlett, a very warm welcome.
Thank you. Nice, thank you. Okay, thank you very much. So I'm Professor Scarlett McNally, OBE, and I'm a surgeon from Eastbourne. I'm very short, 5 foot or 1.5 meters, and I have a lot of things I want to say. There's too many slides, take pictures, nothing's copyrighted. I realize it's a mixed audience, so different people will want different things from this. If you prefer audio, I've done some stuff with the Van Tulleken twins about exercise being the miracle cure. I have no conflicts of interest. No one pays me any money apart from East Sussex Healthcare NHS Trust. I have a column in the BMJ, and I donate the bit of money from that to the Medical Women's Federation, where I was president until quite recently. I did have a role paid for by the Royal College of Anaesthetists. They paid my hospital for half a day a week to improve the care people get around surgery. The stuff below the purple line is stuff I do for free and for fun. I have done in the past. There's a UK Health Alliance on climate change. There's all sorts of things with doctors and other health professionals trying to make things better. Just to say, I'm still operating. That's a picture from 22 years ago when I was pregnant. I give different talks about that kind of thing. I was on the council of the Royal College of Surgeons of England for 10 years, so I am very important. Thank you. And that's my column in the BMJ. I've got some more, so I'm just going to fire stuff at you. This isn't because I'm bad at teaching, it's because you've got different things you want to pick up. My day job's fixing people. That's tibia and fibula fracture, knee on the top, ankle on the bottom. Yeah. Fractures are caused by energy being transferred to a body, yeah? The kinetic energy is half mass times velocity squared. Yeah? But actually being scared of injury is worse. Sitting down and doing nothing is worse for you. This is for, if you can think of Einstein's E equals mc squared, lots of people can think about that, it's similar. So the energy increases with the mass of the vehicle, it increases with the square of the speed of the vehicle, which is why we need 20 miles an hour or 30 kilometers an hour where people are, because they're less likely to get injured, less likely for those injuries to be big. And big cars are big. I led on this exercise, the Miracle Cure. That's from the Academy of Medical Royal Colleges. So that's one representative from an anaesthetist, one paediatrician, one surgeon, all that stuff. So this came out in 2015. This is if people do exercise at the rate of 150 minutes per week. That's about 21 minutes a day. It reduces your risk of dementia 30%, stroke 30%, breast cancer 25%, depression 30%. Who knew that? If that was a pill, like, yes, please, give it, I'm taking this. I don't want to get dementia. My mother had dementia for 11 years. And there's all sorts of other things. Why don't we think of it like that? It goes up by dose. There's a limit about an hour a day. Beyond an hour of day of exercise, to be honest, you're a little bit weird. Just saying. And this is 60% of people, 50% of people aged 60 have multiple comorbidity. We talked about all those conditions earlier. This graph shows the number of conditions you have with age going along the bottom. And it goes up from no conditions, the big blue, to 1 or 2 or 3 or 4. But you can see there are a lot of people at age 50, at age 60, half people have multiple comorbidities, 2 or more. Yeah, 25% of UK adults have more than have 2 or more conditions. Yeah, so we are dealing with quite a population who are living with disability or living with multiple conditions, and we need to be aware of that because we need to bring everybody with us. But if you could make any of those a bit less likely to happen, if you could shift that graph to the right, we wouldn't need so much NHS, so much social care, so much having to look after people. You know, like, duh. You know, and 47% of operations are in people over the age of 65. So that's in the right hand of the graph. So a lot of the NHS is looking after people with all their extra bits. When they've had an operation, they have to go to intensive care if they've had extra bits. So I give talks on that as well. I wrote this in 2017 with some other co-authors about if we could get the population more physically inactive, we would reduce the need for social care. Everyone talks about how to pay for it. We can't afford to pay for it. We're each projected to need 10 years of social care. We haven't got the 2.5 whole-time equivalents to look after people for those 10 years. We need to reduce the need for it. Yeah? So that's get people so they can walk to the toilet themselves, walk to the shop themselves, be connected, go read to kids in schools, walk the kids to schools, all that stuff. Royal Society for Public Health have got stuff about streets being amazing as connecting people. Chief medical officers in the UK in 2019, that's across all 4 UK nations. Do you take pictures? It's all free. They say, because for adults, we remember it's 150 minutes a week. For children, up to age 5, birth to age 5, 180 minutes per day. Yeah. I realise you can't see this, so you just trust me, I'm a doctor. But it says tummy time, it says play time, it says, you know, exploring time. Yeah. And then on the right, up from 5 to 18, kids need 1 hour a day. This is a minimum requirement for health. Yeah. And then adults 18 and beyond, it's the 150 minutes a week. And for older people, it's strength and balance training. Yeah, so you don't fall over and stuff and break stuff, and then I fix you. And it's fine, I like fixing things, but it's not all about me. But there are benefits not just to the child of being active with better physical health, better mental health, better learning in school. All this stuff is proven. Yeah. It's the social connections and the bringing up independence and practicing life afterwards, and it does make them happier and reduces the risk of obesity. Exercise isn't a treatment for obesity, but it reduces the risk. But then there are benefits to the family. 37% of children in England and Wales are driven to and from school in a car. So that's an awful lot of mummies and daddies and grandparents and other carers waiting for it to be 2:40, whatever. So they've got to get in their car and sit in a traffic jam to go and collect him or her and drive him or her home. Like, duh, let's get that bit of the population back into the workforce. There is a gender pay gap. I give other talks on that. Back into the workforce, earning money, paying taxes, not having to do something that didn't ought to have needed to have been done, if that isn't English, but it isn't. And then there's benefits to the UK economy. I'm just saying this isn't, you know, health is obviously the most important thing. Okay. So this is about happy chemicals, yeah? This is the Orthopaedic Surgeon's Guide to Happy Chemicals. We all know about dopamine. I had 4,000 followers on Twitter until it went a bit weird. Every time you play on Twitter, someone likes you. It's just lovely. You get that hit. Ooh, nice. But we're so fixed on that, we don't think about the big stuff. So the serotonin is being included, yeah? So being in a team, doing something together, positive. So you guys, you're getting all the serotonin now. 8% of UK adults are on selective serotonin uptake reinhibitors, mostly for depression. Like, we can fix that with getting people together. Oxytocin is the doing stuff together, doing a good deed. Giving to charity benefits the giver as well. And the endorphins take 20 minutes to work. So when I'm talking to the people that have hit a wall and broken their fifth metacarpal, we talk about the fracture. It's like, yeah, we'll heal up, yeah. But then we go, listen, you've got to not punch walls. You've got to have your running shoes by the front door so that you're ready, because otherwise the inertia of getting ready. And do something. You need to earn a living. Use your hands. Stop it. You know, just you can do that at that moment. Don't do the hitting. Do you know what I mean? But it shouldn't just be a one-person show on that. Okay. Mental health. This came out quite recently. Exercise is better for mental health. You know that. So less likely to have a problem with outdoor play. And there's quite a large, high level of mental ill health in our young people now. It's not, so sedentary, sitting down is bad. We need to break up sitting down time. And exercise is good. So muscles are quite metabolically active. Yeah, they process sugar. They stop the peaks of sugar that make you feel hungry later. They stop a big thing of insulin so that you feel hungry later and what you've just eaten gets stored as fat. So muscles help balance that out, which is why they're so good for reducing type 2 diabetes. It's good for inflammation. Exercise reduces the recurrence of cancer just a little bit. but it does. Big study last year. Improves mental health and the strength. If you can get to the toilet, you can manage yourself, get out of hospital, all that kind of thing. And it's a reserve of protein, which is for healing if you have a problem. And also that's protein antibodies if you get an infection. So like, and I put the big veins because isn't that just great? I think everyone who gets put on chemotherapy should be given a set of weights to do, you do exercise anyway. But I talk about that. But how do you get change? You need the why and the how. And it's different for the individual as it is for organizations. Yeah. So, for example, individuals need to hear the numbers. Some people it resonates with, but actually they need the stories, and they need the environments, and they need the practicalities. They need the how. So I've got waterproof trousers in my pannier on my bike. So if it rains when I'm going home from work, put my trousers on. I feel so smug, past the traffic. But we need the cycle parking. We need all the practicalities. I mean, the culture, so it's what everybody does. To get organisations to change, they need to know it saves money and stops them being sued. More about health. It's proven that being outside in greenery and near water is good. Just saying, The Lancet. I said I did stuff about reducing the complications of surgery. We've got 7 million people on a waiting list for elective care in England. You can reduce, about 10 to 15% of operators have a complication. We accept that. That's, they're not all perfect. 5 times more likely if someone's frail, 4 times more likely if someone's physically inactive. You can reduce your risk of complications by 50% if you do an exercise program before surgery. And we've got stuff about how to do that. That's one on the right's with Macmillan. So I'm just saying we need to change, and I think we should use the NHS to change, to drive the change. We've got videos with Joe Wicks doing how to get ready before your operation. Centre for Perinatal Care if you want that. More about collisions. This is lovely Eastbourne where I live. You can see there's the pier sticking out on the bottom into the sea. Isn't that lovely? So these are 142 pedestrians hit by cars over 5 years. How absolutely shocking, and how dare we do this? How dare we do this? The black is killed, the Sirius is red, Slight is... But Slight is just, I broke my finger when the car hit and I landed. And they come see me and claim, it'll be okay, Ray, just bend. But actually that stopped them working. That's painful. What? How dare we do this? And it scares more people. So we must stop it. Look up your own thing, crashmap.co.uk. It's free if you click on whatever. Put your own postcode in, find it, big map. It's just crazy. And you can do for cars, you can do for cycles, you can, Why do we accept that? If road traffic collisions were a type of cancer, they'd be the 6th leading cancer in England. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing? So I wrote this. This is, again, one of my BMJ articles. But, we have to fight to get through, to be allowed to have a crossing outside a school because they've got a list and there's 70 things that had a petition already. And, why are we doing this? Children are 20% of the population. We can't, for pollution is very bad for health. And don't just change to electric vehicles because they're heavy. You've got the particulate pollution because the pollution is what comes out of the exhaust, but it's also the particulates from tyres and road wear. And that tiny particles get into your lungs. They bypass the normal mechanisms because they're so tiny. And that's why you've got the cancer, you've got the big spike of heart problems, big spike of stroke after a thing of pollution, and dementia. Yeah, we can't afford this. And that's Royal College of Pediatrics and Child Health, Royal College of Physicians. Actually, we just need to stop it now. Why is transport the answer? This is from the British Medical Association. Best forms of exercise are those you can fit into everyday life. We've got some numbers here. Sorry if you don't like numbers, take pictures if you do. 62% of adults say it's too dangerous to cycle on the road. 56% of car journeys under 5 miles. You can reduce cancer if you cycle to work by 40%. Free and generous parking quadruples the chance of driving to work. Only 3.5% of walking journeys are over 2 miles. So you can't just... There's a big thing trying to put walkers against cyclists, particularly in Eastbourne. They're trying to make things pedestrian zones. But we need to do something that works for the bit further distance so you don't drive to the shopping centre and then get out on Pottervat. And this is... so we're the same species as the people in the Netherlands. And yet you're more likely to... I can probably work the... no, I can't. You're more likely to cycle if you're over 80, which is the kind of, I've circled with the oval kind of thing, in the Netherlands than at any age in England and Wales. And it's very gendered, and it doesn't need to be gendered. It's 3 times as many women cycle as men. So was I using this the wrong way up? So I need to press, I've forgotten which way I'm going. Let's try that one. Yes, no, that's okay. Dutch teenagers are the happiest in the world. Just saying. That's OECD, World Economic Forum, UNICEF. It just are. Oh, what a coincidence. This came out from the House of Commons recently, the Health and Social Care Committee. If physical activity were a drug, we refer to it as a miracle cure. Physical activity can be more effective than drugs in preventing, treating, and managing many long-term conditions. That's from the Chief Medical Officer of England. I'm taking the credit for the miracle cure quote, just saying. But this is it's now mainstream. Yeah? The BMJ article I wrote that came out yesterday, if you just Google BMJ McNally longevity, you can find it. That quoted this and it's got a lot more references. Just bear in mind, 20% of the population are children, 19% are over 65, and that's going up massively. 19% of women in the local census, it's 11% of men, in their 50s, care for an older relative. And we could reduce that need if the older relatives was able to do more of their own stuff. Why are we building housing estates where people can get to the shops? That's my father, who lives in Canada, where they have cycle lanes. He's okay, just saying. This is the revenue budget for East Sussex County Council. So about 35% is on adult social care. That's looking after people. If something had been done differently, might have needed all that looking after. And the orange thing is children's services. How much of that could be improved if children could connect and be looked after by with other people? Women and girls are different. I was president of the Medical Women's Federation until a short time ago. Over 50% of doctors with a license to practice in the UK are now women. That's from the GMC register. That's the right-hand bars. Only 20% are white men. That's the black area. And yet everybody is secretly waiting for him to come along and fix everything. Just saying, he's retired. And it has that passive patient mentality, and the expectations being paid. Like, what are we doing? But we need, again, we've got things about, don't just say to your doctor, I thought you were a nurse. Say, when am I getting the scan? Do I have to be in a hospital? What happens if I don't have the operation? We need proper doctory conversations, and we need to do, anyway. Talking about, so women walk a little bit more than men. These are at every age group. Yeah, the children at the bottom. Yeah. And that's about 300 trips a year. This is on a different scale. It's only about 20 trips a year. Again, men an awful lot more than women because cycling is so incredibly scary. Boys cycle more, about 50% more. That's the, what's that? Maroon thing. And women in general are different from men in general, not because, as I said, in the Netherlands we could cycle. It's not anatomical, but women need more safety. We're less strong. We wear nice shoes. We expect to have our hair nice. We're often chip chaining. We earn less money because of the gender pay gap. We've got kids attached. We've got shopping. All that stuff. Let's acknowledge that. It's not being sexist to say it. That's fact. But an individual woman is allowed to excel and shine in a triathlon or whatever. Solutions of safety, 20 miles an hour, changing rooms, that kind of thing. Electric cycles are absolutely a game changer for people with disabilities, older people, and women because you can get off the lights quicker. And then you aren't scared that someone's going to left hook you. Yeah? So we just need to make that more available. This is a cycle loan scheme in Salisbury Hospital. Everyone who borrowed one then went out to buy one. Not everyone, but almost. And people, they work. This works, so see me later. A third of us are projected to get dementia. You can reduce the risk of dementia, and this paper says if we build cycle lanes at the point that we increase women cycling from 3% to 6%, it would save £7 billion in social care alone. Why aren't we doing it? We don't spot prevention savings. We need to fix pavements because people are too scared to get out and walk. How much cheaper is it to fix pavement than put another blooming motorway bridges in? As I said, I've written BMJ articles on prioritising health of children for road traffic collisions, on upgrading public transport and active traffic. So you can find those if you Google. It's not just me. There's the Low Traffic Future. There's Faculty of Public Health, UK Health Alliance for Climate Change, Transport and Health Science Group. All of these are together. If you Google Low Traffic Future, you can get, this is the doctors, the nurses, the physiotherapist. We want it, and yet we're blocked with, the NHS is set up the way it's set up, and I did apply to be chief, but I didn't even get an interview. Medical director of the NHS, I'd have been awesome, just saying. And basically, why do we do something? Either it's because it's nice, because we're nice people, we want to improve people's mental health, improve people's physical health. Isn't that nice? We're nice people, but actually, we absolutely cannot afford not to. We can't afford not to, trust me. What can drivers do? In my final minute, I'm going to show you. This came in 2022, and it says, if you can't, I told you I was 1.5 meters, a bit more, 1.6, but it doesn't suppose, which is 5 foot. So if my wheel is there and your car wheel is there, you do not overtake. You know, it's like, how difficult is that? Do I have to go lie down on stages everywhere? You know, it's like, but the critic in Eastbourne, you've got to then train people, don't go into the other lane completely in the oncoming traffic. Why don't you just sit back? It's like, oh, why are you driving like that? I'm just driving like that because I'm protecting that little person wobbling in their bicycle because I'm a nice person. I'm getting my serotonin from being, you know, oxytocin. You know, we just need to train people, but actually you need a 20 mile an hour because otherwise you can't train. Some people are untrainable until you've changed the environment. We need more cycle lanes. At Eastbourne, 2 stories. Oh, I promised the stories. In Bexhill, they opened a cycle lane on the seafront. I went to visit. This is Eastbourne where we don't have a cycle lane on the seafront. Oh, we want one where the parked cars are. I went to Bexhill. I said, how did you get your cycle lane on the seafront? To the mayor, old chap, a bit short, nice person. And he said, well, the children came to talk to us in the council. And the children said, it's our town too. We want to cycle on the seafront. Can we just try it? And they did. And that 10 years later, they're still doing the trial. This is another story. So 2018, I was diagnosed with myeloma, which is cancer of plasma cells, and cardiac amyloidosis, which did affect my heart. I was in heart failure. I couldn't even walk up. That's why I got so good on Twitter, 2 steps, play on the phone, 2 steps. And I was really, really ill, and I thought I was dying because they are both incurable. But treatments come on, and I had chemo. I was told I wasn't fit enough for a stem cell transplant. So I got an electric bike, which had just been invented, or I'd just heard of them, got out every day, rain, shine. I remember hailstorm. I went out on my bike as if it was my tablet I had to take. I haven't been out yet. Went out on my bike in this hailstorm, 45 minutes every day. Got fit enough, had the stem cell transplant 2020, blooming awesome. I'm on immunotherapy, but it's awesome. I had a hip replacement as a day case last year, a year ago, 27th of June. I'm just saying, we need to change what we think of as health. And I've just been switched off. Did I do that? Oh, there we go. Bristol Declaration. So this was a big meeting in Bristol in January, and there were so many good speakers that I contacted them in advance and said, let's do a declaration. And it's about the bad transport harms health. Good transport enables good health of all sorts and how to improve it. We need to acknowledge car dependency is a problem. We need more funding, but we need environments to change. Planning policy. That's my summary. We need to do the modal shift. It's important. And that's my final slide. Yeah, thank you very much.